Hey, Paul here, and in this video I want to talk about the concept of making it easier for people to provide for their loved ones upon their death by having a handwritten will. So currently, to my knowledge, 26 states permit their residents to have what they call either an oligraphic or holographic will. And typically the rules are the will has to be, entirely written, dated, and signed in the person's handwriting. And so the good part about that is it's really easy to meet the formality requirements. There's no notary requirement, there's no witness requirements. As long as you meet those fairly simple, handwritten, dated, and signed in your handwriting requirements, it's a valid will. So it's always been easy to create a handwritten will. The challenge has always been when kind of lay people don't have the right system or process or guide or assistance, and they don't use the right wording in their handwritten will. Well, things can go south pretty quick. So what I'm really kind of very excited about, and I've been working on it hard for several months, is I'm creating a kind of a website kind of guide that enables consumers to have everything they need to, and this is for really those, maybe I'll call it the 90% of people whose situations are not overly complex. Maybe they're married and maybe they have children and maybe they just want to leave things to their spouse a certain way and they want to leave things to their children. Maybe they don't have children and want to leave things to other heirs. Maybe they're a parent or a couple that has minor children and they want to designate those backup parents or guardians for those minor children. They want to make sure their children receive the inheritance at the right time. So, those are what I call kind of the typical, family circumstances. And for those maybe 90% of people who fall under the typical circumstances, I've created that website or am in the process of creating that website, and I'm almost finished. I've been working so hard, but really excited with all of the tools, all of the forms, all of the resources, all of the learning that someone needs when they have those fairly typical circumstances to put a will in place quickly and easily without all of the burden that traditionally has been there to put estate planning in place. So it will allow people to leave things to their spouse in ownership or leave things in trust for their spouse. It'll allow people to make specific bequests. Some people want to leave a sum of money or a certain piece of property or a home to a specific individual or individuals, or make a charitable bequest. Virtually everyone in their will, they will name an executor. They'll name an alternate executor. Again, if you have minor children, you want to make sure you name those guardians for the minor children who will be able to raise those children. If you pass away before they reach the age of majority, make sure their stuff goes into a trust when you pass away so it doesn't get dumped into their laps at 18. And whether you have a minor children or adult children, some parents need to leave a part or all of their estate to a trust for their children so that the children don't blow it, even if those children are adults. So, traditionally the alternatives for, estate planning in America has been, one, go to a lawyer. I'm an estate planning lawyer, and so I know what that's like, and I know the obstacles people face, and I know what goes through their mind before they decide to go see a lawyer. They're worried about not understanding things. They're worried about the cost. They're worried about whether the lawyer is really going to do what's best for them. So there's concerns, but you know what? In the future, there's a lot of great estate planning lawyers out there, and people will continue and should and will continue to use estate planning lawyers for many, many decades to come, because this is such an important area. But some people, gosh dog it, they either because they're young and they feel like they can't part with the money, or they for any number of a variety of reasons. Maybe their past history. They maybe feel like they don't need it. They won't do it. And maybe they won't do it until it's too late. So the alternatives to going to a lawyer are, quite frankly, there's a lot of online legal services companies out there. The one I see on TV almost every day and the one that pops up on people's computers every day is LegalZoom. And so what that requires is you go in, you pay, you fill out a questionnaire, and then their document program spits out a PDF based on your answers to your questions. I kind of feel like it's a little bit rigid. And then once you get those documents, then you have to schedule an appointment with a notary and make sure there's 2 non-family witnesses who will, and then you go through that formal, execution process for what we call here in our state a notarial will or a typed up will, where you have to follow that notary and witness formality process. And so, my goal here is just to make it easier for America to put their will in place, and then also have there's really an estate plan is not complete until you have all the power of attorney and the living will declarations parts to it, and all that's part of our website and our guide. So I'm excited about it. I thought I'd share that with you. I guess the one question I do want to ask is just to get some feedback from you as to whether you're the type of person who might be open to having your own handwritten will. And it's okay if the answer is no, because most of America, I suspect, will say, I'd rather go to a lawyer. I realize I have to pay the lawyer, but I want to make sure it's done right. I know a lawyer who can help me get it right. I'd rather go that route. So that's an okay answer. But for some, and I feel like the kind of the website, the guide, don't hold me to it. But I feel like the cost of someone going through our website and putting this stuff in place will be about maybe 90% less than what it would cost to go the traditional route. Schedule the appointment with the lawyer, meet with the lawyer, have the lawyer prepare all of the documents, have the lawyer send them to you, have you review them, get your questions answered, go back to the lawyer, get things signed, and then if you need to change things, it's more trips to the lawyer's office every time you need to change something. So anyway, that's the deal there. So my question of the day really is, would you be open to some type of handwritten will guide if you felt like it did the job that you were trying to do, because your circumstances are relatively common and typical, and if you did do something like that, what maybe are a couple of things that you'd be looking to get out of? Is it, what's the simplest way to leave things to your spouse? Is there some unique family circumstance that you might wonder if it could be addressed through something like this? Maybe, family, blended family it might be children with special circumstances. It might be a particular asset that you might have that you want to leave a certain way. So all that, comment or feedback in the comments below, would be really super helpful. Okay, so that's what I'm working on. I'll keep you posted on my progress. I'm excited about it, and just another kind of thing that I do in conjunction with my busy law practice. Been fortunate to help a lot of people there, and then want to make this resource available really on a nationwide basis to people who feel like that would be appropriate for them. Okay, we'll see you next time. Take care.